How did his death affect, your teaching of Jeet Kune Do, and what sort of took place when, when he died, as far as how you would go about teaching Jeet Kune Do or not teaching it, or what?
At that time, because of the death and because of his philosophy, at that time, we really didn't openly teach Jeet Kune Do, and it was never supposed to be mass distributed. But so many people all over the world were saying they were Jeet Kune Do, so finally we started to come out and started to teach it little by little. But his death affected us in the standpoint that we were close to him, and we liked him a lot. So for the majority of people that were training in Jeet Kune Do, it was a setback for a while.
But you kept the group going?
Yeah, I had a small group in the back of my yard that I had. Even the Chinatown group never had signs on it. It was just a window, and they painted it red, and no one knew what it was. 628 College Street, and that's where we practiced. And then we took it into the garage. And then at that time, I built a small little gym in the back of my yard, and we practiced there. And then we moved it to, when we started to teach the Kali openly, we had one JKD class, and the other classes were blend. And we taught things like certain aspects of Wing Chun, certain aspects of Western boxing, to include the kicks and certain maybe grappling techniques here and there. That's what we refer to as the blend. And we introduced, as time went on, different arts to the public. But we always had just one JKD class, and usually at that time period they were voted into the class. But now I have a beginning Jeet Kune Do class, or we call it Jun Fan Kung Fu class, and they go through the stages of stage 1, stage 2, and stage 3.
So it's something that you always taught separately?
Yes. It's never been mixed, like they say.
Like people are saying.
But I encourage my people to take Thai boxing. I encourage them to look into Bando. I encourage them to take French Savate. I encourage them to look into the arts like shoot wrestling and jiu-jitsu. Because I think, as he said, you should absorb what is useful and reject what is useless and add specifically what is your own. And I think you're better off if you have the foundation of Jun Fan Kung Fu, or original JKD, as people say, then you can utilize different arts that you see. There's a time and place, like he said, to use arts like Judo and Jiu-Jitsu, and there's a time and place to use more of the impact striking arts like any Chinese system, or Muay Thai, or Thai boxing, or Bando, and in that respect. And I definitely think it's knowing when and where to use that particular art, because I think every art is functional.
Okay. But hypothetically, if someone wanted to, let's say, go to your academy in Los Angeles and study just Jeet Kune Do, they could stay just in Jeet Kune Do or Jun Fan Kung Fu. They don't have to.
No, they don't have to
go
take
Muay Thai
Kali
or Kali if they don't.
They don't have to take the Indonesian Pencak Silat. They don't have to take the Savate. They don't have to take the Muay Thai. They can go straight Jun Fan Kung Fu. And usually, some people start off that way, and then they realize that there's, no matter how good this place could be or this art could be, there are other places and other arts that have something to offer.
Okay. As far as your personal training, in the last, let's say, 20 years, what could you just tell us a little bit about what you've been studying? And I know you continue obviously to train and study. And just some of
my own personal training. I train in Muay Thai. I have my own personal training in Muay Thai that I do. I like it for the conditioning. I train in Burmese Bando, or the Let Way, and I do that personally, or when Dr. G or John Collins comes into town, I try to train in it. I train as much as I can in elements of a Wing Chun. I train in shoot wrestling, which is a combination as Ketchikan wrestling, Russian Sambo, Muay Thai, Judo, and Jiu-Jitsu. That's what they call shoot fighting or shoot wrestling. That's under Yuri Nakamura, who's the head of it in the United States. I train in Pencak Silat with Pendekar Paul Detoise, which is in the art of Sarak, and I train with Pendekar Sawanda, which is in the art of Mandi Muda Pencak Silat. I train, depending on the week, anywhere from 2 to 4 days in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu under Higan Machado, or one of his brothers like Carlos or Roger or John. I like that because I really think it's a good art. So I constantly look for people to better my method and to better me, and so I have a deeper understanding of different martial arts. And of course, there's Professor Wally J, and when he comes into town in Jiu-Jitsu, I like to train under him also, because I feel every one of these people have something to offer. Any good Chinese martial artists I bump into, I definitely like to train under, like Wei Lin Choi in Chicago. I go in, and that's Xing Yi, Bakwan, Tai Chi Chuan. I'm a student of Tai Chi Chuan, but I go on and off. I'll train hard for 4 months and forget the form, and then come back 6 months later on and redo it. I've been doing that for the last 20 years. That's why I'm a terrible Tai Chi man, but I love it because it seems like when I get sick, I like to do that to bring back my health. So I like to train in the internal arts as well.